Hi, it's Heidi here, and I'm outside of Black Walnut Public School, a place that I taught for a number of years. And I just wanted to talk about the environmental education learning strategy that most resonates with me, and that's learning locally. So as we stepped outside of our school door, there were some different things that we would do as part of our learning. One was to find a tree buddy, and when I was working with a kindergarten class, this is the tree buddy that they as a class chose to follow through the seasons, and it was a good way for them to see it in action, to see the changes day to day as well as every time we would come to visit it. They could see it, they could touch it, they could listen for things that were living in it. They could just have a more immersive experience in learning about their tree than when it was just a picture in a book. As well, we did some studies where we would walk around some of the perimeter of our schoolyard as well as our community, and we looked for different ways that weeds and plants were creating seeds for themselves, and that was again such a richer experience for them to be able to see how the seeds were being formed on the plant, for them to be able to identify the seeds on a plant where it was growing, and for them then to be able to compare some of the different ways that the seeds were spreading themselves, whether it was the milkweed or the dandelions with their ability to fly with their extra silk on them, or whether it was the burrs that were prickly and sticking to them, or some of the smoother, harder seeds that would just drop where they were. And for them, it was a good way to get a better understanding of what they were looking at and where it came from. And that was for them to be able to discover it in place where it was. As well, you can see that we're in a community of houses, and when I worked with grade ones, that was another thing that we did when we were learning about our community. We walked in our community and looked at the ways that the natural spaces and the built spaces work together, or sometimes were at odds with each other, and looked for ways that we could either recommend solutions or other things. If you look just over here, we're also in a community that's still in development, and so this space behind me will eventually be a very large park, and so that also gave us opportunity as classes to think about what do we want to see in a park space in our community. How does that affect our environment? So learning locally just gave us so many rich opportunities and ways of looking at our environment in a way that was real for the students, and that allowed them to continue thinking even after class time, because they were continuing to live in their community. Thank you so much.